For most of the 2010s, it felt impossible to escape Justin Bieber. His songs were everywhere, on the radio, on YouTube, on every chart imaginable. At one point, he wasn't just a pop star. He was the biggest teenage celebrity on the planet. But today, things feel very different. The massive stadium tours have slowed down. New music arrives far less often. And the question many fans keep asking is simple. What happened to Justin Bieber? How did the kid who dominated global pop music seemingly step away from the spotlight? To understand that, we have to go back to the very beginning, when Justin Bieber wasn't a superstar yet, just a kid uploading videos to the internet. In the late 2000s, YouTube was still a relatively new platform. Most people weren't becoming famous from it yet, but a young Justin Bieber from Canada was posting simple videos of himself singing covers in his living room. No big production, no music label, just raw talent and a webcam. Those videos eventually caught the attention of talent manager Scooter Braun, who saw something special.
Like, I just knew, I was like, this kid's gonna be the biggest artist in the world. I know exactly what to do to help him become that.
Soon after, Bieber was introduced to R&B superstar Usher, who helped bring him into the music industry.
I'm introducing to you Island Def Jam recording artist Justin Bieber.
Within a very short time, everything changed. In 2010, Justin Bieber released a song that would launch him into global superstardom. The song was Baby, and it completely exploded. The track became one of the most recognizable pop songs of the entire decade. Teenagers around the world were suddenly obsessed with Justin Bieber. His fan base, known as Beliebers, grew at an unbelievable speed. Concert tickets sold out instantly. Millions followed his every move online. He wasn't just famous. He became one of the most talked about celebrities on Earth. But that level of fame came with something else too, something much darker. Justin Bieber didn't just gain millions of fans. He also became one of the most mocked celebrities on the internet. Memes about him flooded social media. Comment sections were filled with criticism. Entire online communities existed just to hate on him. And remember, he was still just a teenager. Most people go through their awkward teenage years in private. Justin Bieber went through his in front of hundreds of millions of people. Every mistake was amplified. Every bad moment became a headline. And eventually the pressure began to show. By the early 2010s, Justin Bieber's public image started changing. Instead of the sweet teenage pop star, headlines began focusing on controversies. There were reports of reckless behavior, run-ins with paparazzi, and even legal trouble. In 2014, Bieber was arrested in Miami, creating one of the biggest celebrity scandals of that year. For many people watching from the outside, it looked like Justin Bieber was spiraling out of control. But for Bieber himself, the situation was much more complicated. He later admitted that he was struggling with the pressure of fame, exhaustion, and personal identity. When someone becomes famous at 15 years old, growing up normally becomes almost impossible. And eventually, the weight of it all catches up. After years of controversy, Justin Bieber surprised everyone. In 2015, he released an album that completely changed the narrative. The album was Purpose, and it became one of the biggest pop comebacks in recent music history. The album produced massive hits like Sorry, Love Yourself, What Do You Mean? Suddenly, the conversation around Justin Bieber changed. He wasn't just a former teen idol anymore. He had matured into a serious pop artist. The Purpose World Tour sold out arenas across the globe. For a moment, it looked like Justin Bieber had fully reclaimed his place at the top of pop music. But behind the scenes, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Touring the world sounds glamorous, but in reality, it's one of the most exhausting lifestyles imaginable. Constant travel, performing night after night, living under endless public scrutiny. By 2017, Justin Bieber was clearly struggling with the pressure again. He made a shocking decision. He canceled the remaining dates of the Purpose Tour. For many fans, it felt confusing. Why would someone at the peak of their career suddenly walk away from such a successful tour? Later, Bieber explained that he needed to prioritize his mental and emotional health. For someone who had spent almost their entire teenage and adult life in the spotlight, the burnout had finally become too much. Around this time, another major change happened in Justin Bieber's life. In 2018, he married model Hailey Bieber. Marriage marked a shift in his priorities. Instead of constantly chasing chart success and global tours, Bieber began focusing more on personal life, faith, and stability. In interviews, he talked openly about wanting a quieter life, one that didn't revolve entirely around fame. For someone who had been famous since childhood, this shift was huge. In recent years, Justin Bieber has also faced serious health issues. One of the most public was Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, a condition that temporarily caused facial paralysis. The announcement shocked fans around the world. It also forced Bieber to cancel multiple tour dates. Moments like these reminded people that behind the massive fame and success, Justin Bieber is still just a human being dealing with real-life challenges. So has Justin Bieber truly disappeared from pop music? Not exactly. He still releases music occasionally. He still appears in collaborations. And whenever he does return with a song, millions of people still listen. But the difference is clear. Justin Bieber is no longer chasing the spotlight the way he once did. Instead of dominating every chart and touring endlessly, he seems to be choosing something different: balance. For someone who grew up under constant global attention, that might actually be the most important success of all. Justin Bieber's story isn't just about music. It's about what happens when someone becomes famous far too young, from a kid posting YouTube covers, to one of the biggest pop stars in history, to a person learning how to live with fame. Justin Bieber didn't exactly disappear. He simply stepped back from a world that had been watching him since he was a teenager. And maybe that decision says something important about fame itself. Because sometimes, the greatest success isn't staying at the top forever. Sometimes, it's knowing when to step away.